What's a very disturbing fact almost nobody knows? There's 21 to 46 million slaves living right now. In 1977, the average life expectancy in Cambodia was 18.91 years. That's because the Khmer Rouge killed anyone who wore glasses, because that meant they knew how to read and therefore were a bad intellectual. Encephalitis lethargica causes you to slowly survive, but not live. After bouts of deep sleep, where patients can be woken very easily, but fall immediately back into the deep sleep, they are left with post-encephalitis symptoms. The main one being that their minds are fully aware and conscious, but they can't physically function, a bit like locked-in syndrome, and they display extreme apathy. They even know they are displaying apathy, but can't express any emotions. So they are completely stuck until someone throws a ball at them, which they then can immediately catch. Or until someone holds their hand and walks alongside them, then they can suddenly walk. Otherwise nothing. So bizarre. Sounds like a college freshman. It used to be believed that babies as old as 15 months couldn't feel pain. As a result, doctors would perform surgery without anesthesia. Doctors used muscle relaxants on the infants to prevent squirming, essentially paralyzing the babies for the duration of the procedure. How long ago was this? Reports indicate that this continued up until the 1980s. Romans used to torture people by having goats lick their feet. Goats like salt, so they would soak their feet in salt water. Eventually the goat's tongue was rough enough that the skin would wear away. Then you'd have a wound with salt trickling in. Organophosphates, including the chemical weapon sarin gas, work by inhibiting your muscles' ability to relax. Your muscles basically constrict and can't unconstrict, causing what feels like a muscle cramp through your entire body, your arms, your chest, your eyes, your tongue, everything. It most frequently kills via asphyxiation, because you can't exhale. Surviving means a permanent irrecoverable loss of motor function, even with rapid medical treatment. Also originally discovered while chemists were trying to make a more effective insecticide. I'd say they succeeded. Approximately 2,100 children are reported missing every day in the US, or 1 every 41 seconds. On the bright side, most will be returned unharmed. On the bleak side, the survival rate very rapidly declines over time. On the even bleaker side, in the cases of missing young adult men in the US, there's fair chance a missing individual will be ruled deceased after a rather short search with minimal evidence. Even if no body is found, generally it's labeled as deceased due to natural causes. That is drowning in any nearby source of water, getting lost in any nearby woods, just getting lost anywhere and dying. After which the search is completely abandoned. A single tiger killed 434 people in India. The tigress of Champort, whose last victim was a young girl, was killed by Jim Corbett. A toddler's adult teeth are right below their eyes. I just looked up a picture of a toddler's skull and all I gotta say is what the actual duck. One of the first symptoms of heart disease can be sudden death. It's funny, because it can also be one of the last symptoms. Yeah, the symptoms will last for the rest of your life. According to the FBI, over 40% of murders go unsolved. Meaning if you get killed, there's a pretty good chance the person who killed you will not spend a day in jail. There are 8 nukes that are missing all around the world. Oh, that's actually not all of them. According to this, there's a grand total of 51 nuclear weapons lost in the world. 40 Russian, 11 American. One of them is apparently half a mile off the coast of Georgia, and the city of Savannah is within its blast radius. The lost Tybee bomb named because it was dropped off coast of Tybee Island, which is incredibly close to Savannah. We don't know if the bomb is actually capable of nuclear detonation, because it might not have a core, but then again it might have a core and be able to go nuclear. We don't even know if it's still there. One fisherman claimed his net got caught on something a few days after the bomb was jettisoned. Some believed it to be the bomb. Another report is that the Soviets found it and took it instead. Most likely though it's there and not nuclear capable. Even then it still has a metric ass ton of conventional explosives in it that could go off and maul the area it's dropped at. A vitamin D deficiency can make you suicidal, and deficiencies among adults is very common. Like more than 50% of the population in the US. My vitamin 500th number was single digit when I went to see my doctor because I felt depressed. I now take a big weekly dose along with diet change and sunlight to feel normal. If I hadn't gone to the doctor when I did, I might not have been able to face another winter. Mine too. My doctor was shocked and said it was the lowest he'd ever seen. It's crazy how much it makes a difference mentally. It's pretty easy to create false memories. This is why memory is brought back through therapeutic hypnosis treatments in attempt to uncover when/how the patient experienced trauma don't hold up in court. Your mind can just make up something that never happened or didn't happen quite how you remember. There's a really interesting study where scientists basically coerced people into remembering things that never happened to them. If I can find, I'll link it. On average, 30 people die in the US annually in elevator related incidents. This is my worst nightmare. There are strains of bacteria that are resistant to all known antibiotics. I've said it on here before, but it still disturbs me to think about. More eels have a second set of jaws and teeth inside their throat. They'll latch onto prey with their primary jaws, and then the second set can move forward and either latch on and pull the prey down their throat, or eat away at larger prey without having to let go. Xenomorph much? Tens of thousands of people in America were forcibly sterilized by the government as recent as 1981. Turkeys love the taste of their own kind so much that they will cannibalize themselves while they are still alive. The only thing preventing life on Earth from being eradicated by high energy particles is a Van Allen radiation belt and our atmosphere. As recently as the early 1800s, people ate parts of corpses, believing them to have medicinal properties. Blood, power ground up from the human skull, and human fat were all thought to be cures for various ailments. Arguably, it still goes on today, with the practice of consuming placenta for its dubious health benefits. There was a fad for eating mummies. It turns out that there's a limited supply of mummies, so people started making mummies for other people to eat. You are more likely to die on your way to buy a lottery ticket than you are to win the lottery. There are little microscopic mites that live on your face, including your eyelids and eyelashes, and you can't get rid of. All they do is just eat dead skin cells, oils, and hormones that gather on your face. Rats can fit anywhere their head can fit through. The rest of their body is collapsible, and they have sort of hinged rib cages. There is a type of mushroom that can grow on small bugs and control them. Cordyceps. It has hundreds of strains, including ones that can hijack ants, small spiders, and even tarantulas. If it's any consolation, mammal bodies are far too hostile for cordyceps to survive in. Although most insects and other non-mammalian smaller animals are vulnerable to cordyceps, although it would have to have an adapted strain to be able to incubate in its non-native animal of choice. Due to fresh drinking water being so scarce on the Galapagos Islands, some bird species, such as the Galapagos hawk, have adapted by drinking the blood of other animals. The first face transplant was for an 8-year-old girl named Sandeep Kaur, who got her entire face ripped off by getting her hair caught in a thresher in 1994. The parents came in with her face in 2 pieces in a plastic bag. The transplant was a success, and the girl grew up and is studying medicine. There's a type of planet called rogue planets that follow no orbit, so it is entirely possible that we have a Jupiter-sized ocean hurtling through space at 40x the speed of sound, and we will likely never see one. One of the princesses of Ukraine like to push in the soft spots on babies' heads. There's a species of spider that can swim. There's a species of spider that rolls itself into a ball and goes around the desert like a tumbleweed. That sounds a little adorable actually. If you get bitten by a human, you absolutely have to go to the hospital right away, because the amount of deadly bacteria in any given person's mouth could actually kill you if it enters your bloodstream. If a human bites your dog, be careful. Every full moon he will put on clothes, try to barbecue, and complain about taxes. At any moment a nearby star could possibly become a gamma ray burster and point a jet of radiation at the earth that would vaporize us instantly. Math says a gamma ray burster located 100 light years away that aimed at us directly would generate the energy of 100 Hiroshima bombs per square mile across the entire exposed surface of the earth. Anything caught in this blast directly would be vaporized instantly. It would also instantly boil the oceans and rip the atmosphere off the planet. It would end all life and leave the earth a charred cinder in space. And it is 100% impossible to see one coming, since it's moving at the speed of light, because gamma rays are light. If pigs get fed meat, they start to cannibalize and eat each other. Had to harvest them early one year because of it.